the definition of what those augments are intended to provide based on the archetype selected for the augments is within the schools of magic that live for that archetype. So
Man, I can't wait to get a dev update on secondary archetypes and what the augment system's going to be. My head is spitting with ideas about what that would be like. I'll be making a video about this for sure. Reminder, this is Alpha 2. It's for testing. It's not for player experience. It's not a player experience. It's not for you. It's for the developers. Keep that in mind. Ooh, camouflage skill for the ranger? Yeah, yeah. Not quite full stealth, which seems right to me. Only rogues should be able to go full stealth, but this is nice. All right, love this. I can't wait for open world combat. Them on the ridge waiting is so sick. It looks like this is 26 attackers versus 16 defenders, so I'm expecting them to get crushed. All right, looks like most of the defenders are dead. Combat only lasted a minute. Is that too short? I mean, there was a huge numbers difference, so that impacts that a bit. But I would hope that under a more balanced circumstances, the fight would take longer. They're also lower level, so that might have something to do with it too. I'm assuming there should be master loot options similar to raids. I'm a little worried about like a little bit of griefing here and ninja looting. What if two separate groups, right, are after a caravan? They both join the attack, and then when the caravan is destroyed, who gets the loot privileges, you know? What's stopping one group from just looting the crates and running? If they both start to summon a caravan, one could just attack that caravan, right? Lots to think about. Commodities being transported via caravan are turned into stolen goods upon theft. Some are not, though. I feel like all the goods that aren't resources in the artisan system should be converted to stolen goods. Here he says there's too much to carry. Why? I mean, there's only like 15, 20 boxes. He's got 26 people in his party. What's stopping them from each grabbing one thing and running home, right? I want some more information on this. So, if you use a new caravan to recover goods from the old caravan, you will not lose as many resources. Should attackers still lose a portion of the goods even though they gather up the crates in a caravan? I think it should be that the defenders should get 100% out of their caravan. Attackers who recover stolen goods directly to the caravan maybe get 66%. And then the attackers that loot the crates directly get maybe 33%, right? Something like that. I want more elaboration on this. I'm interested. Obviously, these are numbers and will be tested, but I wonder like how long the crates stay on the ground. They would have to remain there long enough to get a caravan summoned, right? But if you attacked a caravan and you didn't have a caravan prepared at a node, would you have the time to make a new caravan and then get it summoned? Progression in attacking and defending sounds cool. As you defend caravans, you learn to be better at defending them. As you attack caravans, you learn to be better at attacking them. I like it. The AoE grab the crates is a great choice. And knowing that if you grab the crates directly to your person and you lose a portion of the goods, this AoE makes a ton of sense. Again, this doesn't look like too much to carry. I get that there may be incentives to use the caravan, but why wouldn't the party just load their bags and just move this stuff without a caravan? This is amazing. Caravan to raft? Yeah. More, please. Oh, dude, and it just like slides off and drops right in. That's what I'm talking about. If there is going to be river and ocean traversals, I'd love to hear that there's currents. And I hope there's going to be other sailing mechanics. Like, obviously, the wind should play a factor. Also, if there's less players on a ship, I kind of think it should operate slower, right? A galleon with 2 people should move and turn and just work slower than a ship with 20 players on it, right? The animation of the dock just sort of Thanos fading into dust is just amazing. The landscape just looks perfect for this game. I think the more verticality you have in a game like this, the more dynamic the world PvP can be. Roads improving with the node? Yes, that is right. Town looks nice. I really want to see more node stuff. I'm looking forward to a really in-depth node dev update stream for sure. I love little alleyways and nooks and crannies in cities. Exploration is important to the world, so I think it should also be important in cities. have lots of little places for me to go and discover and find little cool little things. I love it. You know what would be really neat? If they had an option to split 100 gold evenly through the raid group. I mean, that'd be pretty neat, right? Risk versus reward for the attackers versus defenders. So obviously, there seems to be no risk for the attackers. Defenders are putting their goods on the line, hoping for a larger payday. Attackers are putting nothing up, and they have potential to gain a portion of the defenders' goods. There is an argument to be said about the social risk. If you attack a caravan, there's social implications, but that feels kind of insignificant. I know that there's a highwayman system, and if you raid more caravans, you're further a highwayman, and you can't be on the mercenary side of things where you protect things. But that doesn't seem like that big of a risk. If it stays the case, the players are not going to want to run caravans because there's just going to be a greater likelihood of attackers. The system exists outside of the corruption system. So maybe if you chose to attack a caravan, you become hostile to the originating and destination towns, and you're prevented access from those towns. And in order to gain access back to it, you have to maybe work off your bad reputation, doing some community service, right? To get permission to get back into the town, right? That might be a good idea as a risk. You know, you might not want to raid a caravan if you think that maybe the node that it's going to, you're not going to get access to it. That is at least some risk, right? So if you are targeting another player, specifically a player, and they're not on your guild, alliance, raid, or party, you will not have specific info on their HP. You will have quarters. And maybe you can progress to 8ths or 16ths. I like this idea. Wouldn't really be that bad, really. I'm imagining, like, I'm going to main a ranger, so I'll likely start off most of my engagements with a snipe. And so I'll be able to understand the enemy's sort of power level based on how much my snipes normally do as I get more experience with it, right? So it's not totally, I think it's totally fine. So it looks like the intention is to not have the caravans be stolen. I think this is a missed opportunity. My understanding is that they can't do that due to the caravan origination and destination being locked. Also, the owner of the caravan is something not easily changed, I guess. But an easy example is piracy. Pirates often commandeered enemy ships, and having that option to take control of an enemy caravan adds a whole nother complex layer of decisions to make. As a defender, if I have my caravan and it seems like we're going to be overwhelmed real fast, it might be a good idea for me to attempt to destroy my own caravan and prevent it from being stolen and forcing the attackers to accept the loss on some of the goods. You know, this seems like it could be more interesting than it is now. Caravan creates a raft. You can only use rafts on rivers, and to directly spawn a ship, you have to be at a harbor. Sounds good. The realism of this pleases me. Stolen resources can't be accessed for days. This is to make the decisions by the node to reduce that time period more impactful. I don't have a problem with this, I guess, but it kind of feels like you're making something inconvenient just to force the node to make that convenient. I don't know why. It just seems contrived, but I mean, a lot of this is contrived. I don't know. Numbers are easy to change. That is why anytime you see a number in this alpha, understand that it needs to be tested and it can change easily. Those two things, every time you see a number, they have two traits: that they need to be tested and that they can change easily. Remember that. Throughout all this alpha, I want you to remember that. I wonder how it will work if you have, say, 3 caravans traveling in a line, right? And if you're defending, can you be defending all 3, or are you just defending one? Can you be attacking all 3, or you can only be just attacking one? Because I'd like to be able to defend all 3 at once. You know, if I defend those 3, I should get the rewards for the turn-in of all 3 of those.
Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you, subscribe.